Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today, the board will participate in our regular board meeting. It will be conducted using Google Meet technology for board members and staff who are participating live. Viewers and listeners can access the meeting today by either watching on Comcast channel 235 or by using the YouTube link on our webpage at palmbeachschools.org. We also offer a listening-only option which the public can access by calling 561-357-5900 or toll-free at 1-866-930-7015. The meeting ID is 1-561-880-1124 with a pound sign. I know that's a lot of numbers to remember, and I've asked the Education Network to put that on the screen for those of you at home. You'll see that on your screen at this time. I now call the regular meeting of the School Board of Palm Beach County to order at 5 p.m. on July 22nd, 2020. Mrs. Bass, will you please call the roll?
District 1, Barbara McQuinn.
Here.
District 2, Chuck Shaw. Mr. Shaw is having some technical difficulties. He's going to call in through his phone in just a few moments. District 3, Karen Brill.
Here.
District 4, Erica Whitfield.
Here.
District 5, Frank Barbieri.
Here.
District 6, Marcia Andrews.
Here.
District 7, Deborah Robinson.
Here.
All right, also joining us on the virtual dais today is Superintendent Dr. Donald Fenoy, General Counsel Julianne Rico, Inspector General Teresa Michael, and Board Clerk Carol Bass. Senior staff members will join us periodically as directed by the Superintendent. This meeting is being transcribed by a closed captioner, so remember to speak at a reasonable pace. Now please direct your attention to the flag on the screen. Dr. Fenoy, as soon as that flag appears, will you please lead us in the pledge?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. A quick review of our meeting protocol. Remember, if you're not speaking, your microphone should be on mute. I've asked Mrs. Bass to kind of monitor this for all of us. So if you forget to turn your microphone off and all of a sudden you see it's off, it's probably because Mrs. Bass has turned it off. We get feedback I know it's easy to forget because I do the same thing. I leave my microphone on sometimes when it should be on mute. If you need to step away from the meeting for a moment, please turn off your camera. For the public's information, when a board member's camera is off, the board member is still present at the meeting and can still see and hear what's happening. I'd like to welcome the public speakers who are joining us in person today. While your attendance here at the board office is appreciated, please be mindful of important safety protocols that the district now has in place to conform with COVID-19 safety guidelines. Please respect this cautionary warning that in the event of interference with the orderly processes of the meeting, failure to follow the safety protocols and procedures, or otherwise disruptive conduct, this conduct will result in removal of the person from the meeting. Please abide by these protocols so Palm Beach County School Police officers do not have to take action. First item on the agenda is the items added for good cause. We have one item that's been added for good cause. It's ELR1. Good cause exists at the Wednesday, July 15 virtual special meeting. The board voted to approve the school reopening plan without an approved start date of the school year. As discussed at that meeting, the recommended start date and school year calendar will be brought back to the board for a vote at the July 22nd virtual board meeting. Good cause exists to add this item so the board can vote for the benefit of the public, including students, parents, and employees. Further, the templates of the plan need to be submitted to the Florida Department of Education by July 31st, 2020. Mr. Superintendent, do you have any items to withdraw?
Mr. Chairman, I have nothing to withdraw at this time.
Board members, do you have any items you wish to pull from consent? We need a motion to approve the agenda as modified by the addition of the LR1. Motion by Mrs. McQuinn, seconded by Dr. Robinson. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 6-0 unless Mr. Shaw is here. Mrs. Bass, has Mr. Shaw joined the meeting?
He is on his phone and will let me know. He can hear you all. He is attached. Yes.
Okay. So since I didn't hear any objection from him, the motion carries 7-0. Board members, do you have any disclosures or abstentions? Seeing none. Mr. Superintendent, your comments, please.
Yes, sir. I'd like to begin by congratulating the nearly 200 members of the class of 2020 who will be taking part in their summer virtual graduation ceremony tomorrow evening. We invite you to watch the commencement ceremony, which begins at 6 p.m. on Comcast Channel 234 and ATTU Verse Channels 99. On behalf of the school board and the entire district, we wish our graduates the best of luck as they head into their careers or college. We look forward to seeing all that they accomplish, and may they always be lifelong learners. Summer has also continued to be a time of learning for more than 6,000 students who participated in an extended school year. Students with individual education plans received instruction in critical therapies virtually. The 400 teachers leading ESY this summer also created their own Google Classrooms to interact, ask questions, and share resources with each other. ESC department leaders formed new connections with teachers from different schools. They hope to maintain this new level of virtual collaboration into the upcoming school year. The multicultural department also brought summer learning to life for about 300 students in the migrant education program by sending backpacks filled with supplies to their homes for hands-on projects, such as building miniature sports stadiums out of paper. We had 1,500 students in the English for Speakers of Other Languages, or ESOL virtual summer program, all received a graphic novel to read and discuss during online literature circles with teachers and classmates. The School District of Palm Beach County is a leader in educational technology, and for that reason, we are proud to now be a part of the Google Reference Program. This is a huge recognition for the district. Google for Education Reference Districts demonstrates excellence and thought leadership through the innovative use of technology, including G Suite, which is the Google Suite for education, and Chromebooks to drive impact and positive learning outcomes. We all learned firsthand when the district shifted to distance learning last March that technology is and will be a fundamental tool for achieving our pillars of effective instruction and providing digital and blended learning opportunities. And finally, promises made, promises kept. Your penny has been hard at work this summer, updating more than a dozen campuses throughout the district. The penny sales tax, which was approved by the voters in 2016, has helped upgrade schools dramatically. From Pioneer Park in the Glades to Palm Beach Lakes High School in West Palm Beach to Woodlands Middle School in suburban Lake Worth. The work is remarkable. Visit the district's website, palmbeachschools.org, to see the many ways that the penny sales tax is making a tremendous difference in our district. Although we will be starting the year in a distance learning mode of instruction, these district-wide improvements will make the return to our campuses that much more special when it is safe to resume in-person instruction. These improvements will be enjoyed by students and staff for years to come. To the members of this particular community, we thank you for your continued support. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Those are my comments for today.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. Board member comments, Mrs. McQuinn?
None at this time.
Vice Chairman Shaw, are you here? Mrs. Brill?
Thank you. The only thing I would like to say is just a thank you to everyone that has reached out to us by phone, by email. I know all of us are probably in the same position I am. I try to get back to as many people as I can. I can assure you I do read all of your email messages, and it just shows you how important education is to our community. So I just want to say thank you and let you know that we are all doing the absolute best that we can. We know that everyone is not going to be happy, but what we are doing is coming from our heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brill. Microphone problem there for a minute. Mrs. Whitfield?
Thank you so much. I did actually want to make some comments tonight. I wanted to start this board meeting by saying to everyone how grateful I am for our administrative staff. They have put in tireless hours, skipping vacation and putting their own family's needs aside to help us in this process. I'm also really grateful to the residents who fervently care about all our children, and they write to support us or to rightfully question our decisions and put so much time and effort into those emails that Ms. Brill mentioned. I really do try to read them all as well and respond to as many as possible. It is a challenge because there's thousands, but I really do appreciate it. I'm also super grateful to our teachers who stepped up to the plate in the spring when we had the most uncertain of times and had to and had to continue to offer their unwavering commitment and dedication to their profession and to our children to make school wonderful in the fall. I want to thank our custodians and tell them how grateful I am to them. They've made the cleaning of our schools a life and death priority, and leaving their families and making sure that they came to take care of our schools. And the food service workers, who I have a very soft spot in my heart for, they came in and served our children when many of us stayed at home just so that no one would go hungry. And finally, I'm very grateful to my fellow board members because many of you, I feel like I do, which is that public service is more of a calling than a job. And I appreciate your time and effort. I know how seriously we've all taken this time. So for everyone out there, however you feel about our work going forward, I want you to know that I'm grateful for our community and all of you as we go through this together. Thank you sincerely.
Thank you, Mrs. Whitfield. Mrs. Andrews?
Thank you, and good afternoon to everyone, especially the parents, the teachers, the whole staff of the School District of Palm Beach County, and our beloved community. I'm worried about our children. I know they need to be back into their school, the building itself, as soon as possible. We are still sitting here in phase 1 of the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic. Every parent should have a choice for their children. Teachers and staff should have a choice based on their health conditions during this pandemic. Distance learning is not a substitute for in-class learning with a teacher to help to guide the children each and every day. It is our only choice right now because we're still sitting here in phase 1 and we're getting more infections day by day. But we are all in this together. But the parents, I want you to know, you have a very powerful voice as it relates to your child. Over the past several weeks, I've spoken to many of you. Many of you are doctors who have children in the Palm Beach County School District. And many times you've shared opinions that differ from what I see on the news and on the television. But we have to work together because truly it's all about the children. We must continue to listen to all sides as we move forward for the success of the children. I want to especially thank the Boys and Girls Clubs and the agencies that have been working with our children throughout this summer.
Ms. Andrews, I'm sorry, YouTube went down. I don't want your comments to be lost.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we're going to obviously suspend the meeting temporarily until we get assurances that we're back up on YouTube.
Am I allowed to call attention to someone's birthday while we're offline?
Mrs. Rico's not shaking her head no or yes, so go ahead.
So we didn't get to give Mrs. Rico her cupcake. Her birthday was Sunday. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Happy birthday. Mrs. Rico.
It was my first virtual birthday, 100% virtual.
And you look fantastic, Julianne. Fantastic. Let me take a moment while we're down. I just want to thank you all for your condolences and gifts to my father-in-law's funeral. It was a huge surprise to the family to see flowers come from the district and some of you as individuals. So my wife is she's overjoyed with your support, and just thank you guys so much for it.
I've been advised by Mr. Ruiz that we're back online, so we'll continue. Mrs. Andrews, would you go ahead and continue, please?
Mr. Barbieri, I'd like to start back over since I don't know when we were off or when we were on. So is it
Certainly.
I may start back over. First of all, I'd like to say good afternoon to the parents, teachers, staff, and especially the community. I'm so worried about our children. I know they need to be back into their school building as soon as possible. We are still sitting here in phase 1 of the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic. Every parent should have a choice for their children. Teachers and staff should have a choice based on their health conditions during this pandemic. Distance learning is not a substitute for in-class learning with a teacher. It is our hope that we can get out of phase 1 as soon as possible, but this is where we sit right now. And we're getting to do the best we can each and every day, but we're getting more infections each and every day. We are all in this together, but parents, your voice is very powerful as it relates to your child. Over the past several weeks, I've spoken to doctors who have children within the Palm Beach County School District. They have shared their opinions, and many times they differ from the opinions I read in the paper each day or see on the news. But we must continue to listen to all sides as we move forward for the success of our children. I want to personally thank the Boys and Girls Club and other agencies for working all summer tirelessly to help our children in summer camps. They helped our children academically, socially, and emotionally. The school board must continue to make sure that these agencies continue to help our neediest children each and every single day. And finally, I want to congratulate all the graduates on tomorrow who will actually get their diploma and get a handshake virtually. You did it. You did it. You graduated. Congratulations to all of the graduates for summer. And thank you all for all you do as we work together for the betterment of our children. We're all in this together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Andrews. Dr. Roberts, before I come to you, I see Vice Chairman Shaw is back. So, Mr. Shaw, do you have any comments you'd like to make?
Yes, thank you. I know that we've been going through some very interesting times, to say the least, and the challenges that we face are things that none of us would have ever even begun to believe could happen. And I think that one of the things that the public doesn't see and is the work that's being done by the superintendent and the executive staff and the work that's been done for several weeks. And I really think it's important for us to know that when they spend the entire weekend for several weeks in a row working on trying to solve our problems and come up with recommendations that work for us, I think it's something that the public doesn't always, in fact, probably never realizes the effort that's being put forth. And I really think that that it's important for us to thank the superintendent and staff for doing this. And I ask that everybody in the community realize that we are in this together, that in order for us to have anything ready to do in the future, we have to do it together. We can't do it alone, and we've got to work together. I want to also thank two of the cities that are working right now, the city of Green Acres and the village of Palm Springs, who both have made an offer to step forward and work with providing in-house opportunities within their cities to work with students of the employees of both those cities so that those employees will be able to continue to come to work every day and still have the availability of working with their children online. And I think it's that partnership that we can see from other cities that I would hope that every city in this entire county and every business in this county would come forward and work with us to try to help solve this problem. I know none of us want to see us continue with this kind of opportunities for our children be provided in this way with these kinds of programs, that we need our children back in school, but we need to do it in a way that's responsible. So I want to again thank the superintendent and everybody in his staff for doing an amazing job and working so hard to make us successful. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Dr. Robinson?
Thank you. I just got a text that we're offline again. So are we or are we not?
IT people are standing here next to me and tell me we're online, so hopefully that's...
We're online? Okay. All right, that's fine. So thank you very much. So I just want to say we're in a crisis, in case you didn't know, right? We're in a pandemic, unlike anything that has been experienced in more than a century. And so there's a lot of things that are new to us, and that, as has been said, we have to handle them together. There's so very many things that have to be considered in our decision making. I want to thank you, my colleagues for district administration, for finally hearing me regarding my concerns about this virus and the dangers it poses. Now, I too listen to all sides, but I have to do everything that I can to make sure that we do everything that we can do to keep our students and employees safe. So I also want to thank the Health Advisory Committee for bringing their expertise to the table to help guide the school district. And sometimes it's very affirming for me to hear my professional colleagues say what I said. And so it's not just Dr. Robinson who thinks it, which I think may happen from time to time. So you may have heard the saying that when America gets a cold, African Americans get pneumonia. This pandemic has shown many people the disparities that exist as a result of multi-generational lack of access, multi-generational trauma, and our failure as a public education system to correct the academic achievement gaps caused by the educational debt. So as we move forward, I would ask that after safety, we also keep equity in mind. And so with that thought in mind, I want to be clear, as I have said before on the public record, we need to not only transform our curriculum, but we also need to make sure we're setting aside some of our CARES dollars to have supplemental education on the other side of this pandemic to help students catch up. Those that we've left behind historically and those that have fallen further behind because of the COVID-19 slide and then the summer slide. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Robinson. Board members, I've attached my report to the agenda in that section of the report. There's just a couple of things I'd like to point out to all of you that's on the report. I want to point out some of the events that I was involved in to represent the board as a whole. Over the past 6 days, I've been in live interviews with WPTC reporter Ryan Hughes, WPBF reporter Angela Rozier, Telemundo reporter Adrian Criscutt, WPEC reporter Chuck Weber. I've been interviewed by the Palm Beach Post reporter Andrew Marr and Sun Sentinel reporter Austin Erblatt, the Tallahassee Office of Politico, and finally I started off the day this morning at 8 o'clock with a live radio interview on local station WFTL with Jennifer Ross. It's been interesting to hear their questions, and I have tried to ensure that all of the views that all of you have shared at our board meetings were included in my comments to the press. Finally, I also recorded a message on behalf of the board at the Education Network to be given to the summer school graduates tomorrow. And like Dr. Fenoy and all of you that have mentioned already, I congratulate all of our graduates, the 200 students who will be graduating tomorrow. Yesterday, I also had a very constructive phone conversation with Dr. Alina Alonso. Dr. Alonso has assured me that she is available to provide us with any info the district may need to make decisions affecting the health of our students and staff. And I thank Dr. Alonso for her help in that regard and her promise to help us as we move forward with this problem that we all share at this time. One last thing, unless the governor extends the virtual meetings, Mrs. Bass will have to put on the agenda that's going to be published this week for the next meeting, whether or not we're going to be here live in August, if she publishes the August meeting. We have no meetings the first 2 weeks in August so far. There's nothing on the calendar, but we do have meetings the last 2 weeks in August. So unless the governor extends, you're probably going to be getting a call from someone, probably the board clerk, asking whether you're willing to come in here. And if he extends, it's not an issue, but you're still going to get a call. Wondering, you all had indicated that in August you'd like to come back. That was before the pandemic got more serious here in Palm Beach County. So if the governor extends, you'll be asked if you still want to come back in August for the meetings or want to stay out. If the governor doesn't extend, we don't have any choice. I suppose we're going to have to all be back in here. And school police has been working on the protocols and to make sure that we all have, we're as safe as possible. You can't see it, but there's plexiglass between all the board seats at the moment, except for the ones right next to me. They kept those out till after these meetings are over with. But we have the plexiglass here, and there's already plans on how we'll be situated in the room. Mrs. Rico, I saw your hand. Did you have something you wanted to say? No? All right. The only other thing I have is we have the in memoriam. We have three employees that have passed away. Eusebio Goya Ghana, a lead custodian at Yeaga Middle School. He was born in April 27, 1944, and passed away on June 15, 2020. Cindy Radoff, teacher, elementary, kindergarten, UB Kinsey, Palmview Elementary. She was born July 10, 1965, and passed away May 19, 2020. And Eric Reed, teacher, middle English 6 to 8, John F. Kennedy Middle, was born October 14, 1984, died May 18, 2020. If we could have a moment of silence for those individuals and their families. Thank you, board members. We have no government report, student government report, of course. We have committee reports, Academic Advisory Committee,